You can see my ugly face.
Hey Eric, how you doing?
Not bad. How you doing today?
I'm good. I'm good. I love your backdrop.
Oh yeah, it's kind of nice. It's a movie I saw. It was really good. You should check
You,
it
you,
out.
you look like you're the fifth Shero there.
Well, yeah, I don't identify that way, but yeah, who knows? But anyway, I'm here with Jordan Gertner. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yes.
So I guess I'll start off with primarily a producer. And look, Spring Breakers, Killer Inside Me, Bully, Virgin Suicide, Buffalo 66. Like, we mostly cover indie movies, and I just read off like a killer's row of bangers. But what made you finally take the jump into directing?
Well, I always had the desire to direct movies ever since I got out here to LA. And, fortunately, I got onto a role of producing films that I was incredibly proud of. And that became my focus. And then once once COVID kind of came around and there was some time to focus on something else, I knew it was time to kind of take this opportunity to direct a film. So I put all my energy and focus in terms of packaging and building out this film. And that became, this first opportunity that I've, longed for years.
Yeah. And what was there anything like I mean, you produce so much, so I assume you went in knowing full well what you were getting into, but was there any sort of surprises or any changes from moving from producer to director that maybe you didn't foresee?
I was surprised at how much I loved it.
Wow.
I knew I would enjoy the process, but I didn't know I would enjoy this creative process nearly as much as I did. It was just incredibly rewarding, and it was, filled with smiles. And I just, that was kind of the biggest surprise to me.
Yeah. And you also you wrote Sheroes along with looks like you had Cam 48 in pre-production. What was the like did you have the story in your head for a while that's why you wanted to direct it, or is it something like did it maybe the idea come up later, or
In terms of Sheroes?
yeah.
Yeah, no, Sheroes was something that I wrote to direct. This was a story that I had in my head, and was able to kind of translate that to paper. And by the time we got to Thailand, like I've always said, if you could just plug into my brain, we wouldn't have had to make the movie. But to kind of have that opportunity to work with these amazing women and build out this world was great. So the idea was I write this story and then I move forward to direct it.
Yeah. Also, I guess speaking of plugging into your brain, what's your thoughts on the writer's strike as of now? Or is that part, like, you normally do indie movies, so is that even part of your world at the moment?
It's not presently part of my world, but I absolutely support the writers and want what's best for them. So I certainly hope that they come to a resolution that they're comfortable with and creates a clear path forward for them to be financially successful in the future.
Yeah. And with so as far as being a producer, what goes into your head as far as choosing projects? Like what when you're looking at something, what makes you say I want to help bring this to life?
For me, it's just, if I read a script and I connect with the material, when I read a script and I kind of see that movie in my head, and it'll all depend on potentially who's directing the film as well. And then, if it's a story that I'd like to be a part of help being told, I'll get involved from a producerial standpoint. It's like there's a lot of movies that I'd like to see get made. And I feel fortunate that, I now have the opportunity where I can read a script and want to produce a movie and not want to direct it, but feel passionate enough about wanting to get that particular film made.
Yeah. And I guess why directing now? Like, is it just that difficult to get a movie made in that regard, or did you just finally feel confident to start doing that now? Or
it was confidence in timing. The timing worked out, and I felt certainly ready to step behind the camera and direct my first film. So it was just timing, confidence, and feeling like, having worked on these films over the years, that I knew I could make a good film.
Yeah. Also, I usually say this for the end, but given what you have worked on previously. We have a what's in the box segment, and these are movies that are generally go under scene that you like, that you wish more people would check out. And the funny thing about your producing credits is a lot of the movies on there are movies that people would actually put in the box, and we get excited to watch. But so I'm really curious to hear, like, what are some of your movies you would like to put in the box?
You mean, are these movies that I hope people would watch?
Yeah, something that is like, man, that movie's so good, but no one just no one talks about it. And I wish they would. So we put it in the box, and then we'll draw one out every week to watch it and talk about it.
I mean, I would actually pick some of the films that you mentioned that I would love people to see. I mean, Larry Clark's film Bully, I think, is an excellent film that people should check out. Michael Winterbottom's film The Killer Inside Me, another great one to check out. One of my first films I worked on was Vincent Gallo's Buffalo 66.
Yeah. Our co-host is he loves that movie so much he had to ban it from his own podcast because he talked about it so much. He's like, I'm done. I can't talk about this.
But I think like those would be great films that may have flown under some people's radar. That would be worthwhile committing your time to watch.
Yeah. And what's maybe a couple movies that you haven't worked on that you particularly like?
Oh my goodness. It's just I'm drawing a bit of a blank right now, to be honest with you.
Air Buddies 2. I'll mark that down.
Pardon me?
I said Air Buddies 2. I'll mark that down.
There you go. There you go.
Cool. And so what's I see you got Cam 48 in pre-production. What can you tell us about that?
Cam 48 is a film that I'm incredibly excited about. I wrote this particular one with another incredibly talented writer. And it's essentially the story of this street hustling woman who's into sports gambling and owes a lot of money, and ultimately finds a camcorder in a pawn shop that she realizes shoots 48 hours in the future. So she runs around town using this camera to her benefit and advantage until an extreme disadvantage presents itself to her by the course of using it.
Oh, nice.
It's another great, fun, crazy ride.
All right. And when's that one due out? So, well, I guess it's pre-production, probably too early.
That we're in pre-production. So hopefully next year we'll be talking about Camp 48.
Oh, I'd be looking forward to that. I really enjoyed Sheroes as well. It was kind of I wasn't quite sure what to expect going in, because I don't usually watch the trailers before I watch the movie. Try to go in as cold as possible, but it was real fun, really funny, and I especially like the Taken. Here, I write this. Just write exactly what I wrote. Okay.
Yeah, fantastic. That was a really great scene to shoot, and Isabel just kind of knocked that out of the park. And that was a great moment for me. I remember when that idea popped into my head, thinking, there's some things when you write, you kind of laugh at the screen and you say, we can never do this. And to know that Luc Besson and Europa Corp were supportive and they let us do that, and to come and shoot that scene that day was tons of fun, and I'm really proud of that moment, as I am with all the other moments in the film.
Yeah. What's the writing process for you like? Do you just write a couple pages and it's like, oh, I got nothing, and then just keep coming back to it and take a long time, or is it really short? Or
for me, it's kind of like I get this idea in my head, and I let that idea kind of grow and grow, and it almost becomes like a movie in my head. And then I sit down and I just kind of open the floodgates and just let it all come out, and the story unfolds. And then I go back and I tweak and I fix and I tweak and I fix and I share with people and get their thoughts. And then ultimately it becomes a story. And then if you're lucky, like I am with Sheroes, it becomes a movie.
Yeah. And I guess so you have the screenplay done. What's the next step? Granted, you've made movies, but someone maybe a listener, they write a script. What's the next step into?
So you write the script, and then you've got your project. Then you need to go and cast your film. So I had the opportunity to work with a fantastic casting director, two people that I've worked with in the past, and then we just started casting the film. And once we kind of built the cast, we went out and we acquired finance and distribution, And then we went to Thailand and went into prep, shot the movie, came back, posted the film, and then delivered it. And now I'm incredibly excited to say on, June 23rd, everybody can enjoy this experience that we all spent so much time working on.
Yeah. So yeah, it says here select theaters and digital June 23rd. What theaters? Is that just New York,
The
California thing?
theaters are still being confirmed which particular ones, but that'll be out relatively soon.
Okay, I think this would be a really fun one to watch in theaters, like full crowd. It's got that kind of energy to it, I think.
That's what I really wanted to do with this film. Like for me, going to the movies was like, you jump on this ride and it's this magical ride that takes you away from everything going on in the world around you. And I feel like that's kind of what Sheroes does. Like, you go on this journey with these incredibly talented women and kind of get lost with everything else that you may have been focusing on when you walked into that theater. And yeah, if, you can go check this out in a theater. I certainly think that you will enjoy the experience.
Yeah. Well, Jordan, thank you for joining me today, and I hope this does well. And I cannot wait to see what the Cam 48 is. The little bit you described sound pretty great, and yeah, just looking forward to whatever kind of bangers you release out onto the world.
Well, it was a pleasure meeting you, Eric. Thank you so much for taking the time.
All right, thank you, Jordan.
All right, take care.
Mm-hmm.